Britain's jobs market is flashing warning lights. The numbers aren't catastrophic yet, but they're heading in the wrong direction. And behind every figure are real people, real businesses, and real decisions being put on hold. On Tuesday, 12th of August, new ONS figures showed employees' payrolls fell by 8,000 in July. Step back and the story gets starker. Since the general election in July last year, the number of employees on company payrolls have fallen by 164,000. That's 10 monthly declines in the last 12. At the same time, the headline unemployment rate stayed at 4.7% in the 3 months to June, higher than the 4.2% Reeves inherited and the highest since 2021. Vacancies fell 5.8% between May and July to 718,000 outside the pandemic crash. That's the lowest since early 2015. Almost every major sector saw declines. The biggest job losses and layoffs were in retail and hospitality industries. These are industries built on part-time and flexible work, where rising employment costs hit first and hit hardest. Payrolls down mean fewer people on employers' books. Vacancies down means companies are pulling job ads or not posting them at all. Unemployment flat at 4.7% mean those who do lose jobs are taking longer to move into new roles. Together, that's a classic cooling labour market. Hiring slows, churn falls, and workers' bargaining power softens. This isn't a collapse. Not yet. A collapse would mean rapidly rising unemployment, mass layoffs across sectors, and vacancies drop. But the direction is unmistakable. Workers are seeing fewer listings, slower callbacks, and tougher interviews. Employees are thinking twice about every backfill, every expansion plan, every new location. There isn't one single cause. Weaker growth expectations mean companies don't hire for a future they can't trust. The £25 billion rise in employees' national insurance contributions, announced in October 2024 and implemented in April 2025, raised the cost of labour, especially labour-intensive sectors like hospitality and retail. Inflation never fully vanished, and while the Bank of England reduced the base rate to 4% in early August 2025, borrowing is still far more expensive than in the 2010s. Add in global uncertainty from the US trade tension to sluggish consumer demand, and you have a recipe for caution. The Institution of Directors' Confidence Index fell to negative 72 in July, plunging from negative 53 in June. A huge single-month drop that signals a sharp shift in mood among UK business leaders. This isn't just bad, it's historic. It is the worst reading since the index began in 2016, even lower than the negative 69 registered during April 2020, when much of the economy was shut down during the first COVID lockdown. The damage isn't limited to views on the wider economy. Confidence in leaders' own organisations, normally a steadier, more optimistic measure, also took a hit, sliding from +3 in June to negative 9 in July. That's the second lowest level on record, suggesting this is not just pessimism about the system out there, but a deep anxiety about the health of their own companies. When confidence collapses like this, the effects ripple quickly. Businesses become defensive, expansion plans get shelved, capital investment is pushed into the future, hiring freezes become the norm, and in many cases, positions left vacant by departures or simply never filled. In practice, that means fewer job opportunities for workers, slower career progression for those already employed, and a weaker pipeline of talent entering industries. Low confidence also feeds into a kind of economic feedback loop. Hospitality is cutting hours and delaying hires. Retailers face fragile footfall and relentless online competition, so they can consolidate and automate instead of expanding headcount. It's hardly surprising that jobs are falling and companies are pulling back on recruitment when the Institute of Directors' Confidence Index dropped to negative 72 in July. This is the lowest reading since the index began in 2016 and a clear signal that business leaders are uneasy about their economic outlook. When confidence is this low, employees naturally become more cautious. Hiring plans are reviewed, vacancies are left unfilled, and decisions about expansion are delayed. Even businesses that are performing reasonably well hesitate to commit to new staff if they are unsure what demand will look like in 6 to 12 months. The drop in confidence isn't just about the broader economy, it's also about companies' own situations. Confidence in their own organisations has fallen into negative territory, suggesting that leaders are worried about meeting targets, maintaining margins, and managing costs. In this environment, recruitment becomes a risk many are unwilling to take. Businesses prefer to hold on to cash rather than commit salaries they may not be able to sustain. The result is fewer opportunities for job seekers and slower movement in the labour market, a cooling trend that will be difficult to reverse without significant boost in confidence. Rachel Reeves pitched the employer national insurance contribution rise as a way to fund public services and signal fiscal discipline. Critics call it a job tax. Supporters argue sustainability and investment in public goods underpin productivity. Both can be true over different timeframes. Reeves needs to put confidence back into business leaders and into the average person's view of the economy. Breaking the confidence cycle is a most urgent task. Right now, too many companies are in a wait-and-see mode, holding back on hiring and investment until the outlook feels safer. That caution filters through to workers and households, who then spend less, adding another drag to the growth. Confidence is more than a mood, it's an economic engine. When business leaders believe the environment is stable and predictable, they take calculated risks, opening new locations, investing in technologies, and expanding their teams. When consumers feel secure in their jobs and incomes, they are more willing to make big purchases, start businesses, and commit to long-term plans. The challenge for Reeves is to send clear signals that the UK is a safe place to invest, hire, and grow. That means consistent policies, transparent communications, and visible steps to ease cost pressure. The question now, can Reeves turn this around? Momentum is slipping, the labour market is cooling, confidence is falling, and the longer that continues, the harder it gets for Reeves.